If you've ever watched the Kevin Costner movie Draft Day, on Draft Day, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Folks, welcome back. Sorry we're a little bit late. Jonathan Cooper, big brain. We are a little bit late because I had to take over the exact same computer that Aaron was using. But we out here, we live, we ready to go. We are going to make some money before this draft starts. Let's get it.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that. All right, folks. Hello and welcome. Ryan back in the HQ. We're here for live trading. We, of course, got our main man, 13, in the back. 13, how you doing today? How's that coffee?
Oh, it's tasty. It's all over my mouth too. So yeah, it's been a good morning so far. Kind of, well, if you're looking for the things that I'm looking for, I was looking for downside, and we're getting it, baby.
Okay, we're going to get right into it real quick. STFU, are these Zunaid's headphones? Well, I didn't see his name on them. They're a communal set that I'm sure he used yesterday. I'm happy to report that I met Zunaid today in person for the first time, and the dude is legitimate. And I'll say this, his haircut, even better in person. So shout out to the Z-Man here. I will say the Benzinga team here, big hats off to everybody here. I know the day hasn't even really begun yet, but the amount of work that they did to prepare this office for this draft event and everything is exceptional. They worked into the wee hours of the morning. So smash up the like for our Benzinga team here, trying to do an event a little outside of our wheelhouse here. I think it's going to go off really well. Downtown Detroit is popping. It's like 9 o'clock and downtown Detroit is absolutely popping. It's awesome here. Really excited.
Did he tell you what happened yesterday with the headphones?
No. So what happened? I missed all of that. So what happened? Because
it was funny. He was just
my plane was delayed. Just so you guys
this
are
is
aware.
how good of a listener he is. So basically, he was just using the headphones and he was adjusting them. And the next thing you know, he's got like a broken headphone in his hand live on the show, and we're just laughing about it. And I'm making jokes, of course, like, oh, hey, look, ladies, hey, if you need a man who's a good listener, this guy just listens the shit out of these headphones. That's your guy right there. So we were having a good time, but yeah, it was funny having him break the headphones right off the bat.
I'll tell you, you know what? I'm sorry that I missed that, but I'm glad that you had a good time. Okay, I know we are a little truncated on time here. I actually don't have a clock in front of me, which is weird. Okay, so we've got about 18 minutes till we start. Let's go ahead and start with the SPY. I'm going to have to go ahead and share my screen. While I'm getting this ready here, I, of course, want to remind you folks that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. If you need help getting over that 25K threshold, Trade the Pool is who you should reach out to. If you just need some more buying power or you just want to work with a group of really great guys, Trade the Pool is your group. So be sure to check them out. Now, again, Ryan repping the Bears, of course, right? This is going to be a franchise-changing day for us. So you would better believe that everything that I'm wearing is Bears gear. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up the SPY. As far as the stream today, I'm probably going to stay in Benzinga Pro both today and tomorrow. I'm not at my home base. I don't have all of my setups. I don't have all of my applications. I don't have things the way that I like them all, and everything is kind of in flux here. So I don't think that I'm going to be bringing up Trade the Pool for these next 2 days. But again, we will be getting back to that. And again, as I mentioned earlier this week, got some surprises coming up for that. So stay tuned. Really excited about that. Let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks here. This is a look at the SPY. We're currently back below 500. I know we had several closes above 500 there. Now we seem to be back below 500. So looks like we really kind of sold off here today, looking like we're setting up for a red day. 13. What are we looking at?
We're looking at the resolution of this bear flag. That's the whole thing that I've been on since last week. I was looking for the bounce this week. We started to get it, talking about how we're probably going to roll over starting yesterday. That happened. We put in a hanging man candle. It's a good indicator that more downside is ahead. And we're getting that thanks to some earnings that we got last night, most notably Meta. They ended up going down a lot. They lost over $200 billion in an afternoon off their earnings. They filled the gap to the downside in the after hours. They came back up, so they're trading a little bit higher. But I don't no. Okay, so it's above the gap fill right now, but it filled the gap on earnings and then came back up. So
Yeah, this trade, just for clarity here, this traded down
Yeah.
to 398. Actually, it looks like the
Yeah.
wick went a little bit beneath that.
Yeah.
But 398 literally fills this gap. You're exactly right. You're exactly right, 13. So here's the thing. I don't, if you had more on this, I'm gonna throw it right back to you. Here's the one thing as it comes for trading purposes. We've seen some of these tech names when they sell off. The sell-off sometimes isn't done really until the 200-day. And even in some cases, it goes beneath that 200-day. As far as a trade here on Meta, if we back out and kind of look at this look at the run this thing has made since what, November of 2022? Yeah, November of 2022. Stock was $90. Stock is up 500% since November of 2022. A pullback to this 200-day at 372 is completely normal and healthy. So as far as trading goes here, I'd actually want to wait this out and see if we get some type of setup along that 200-day. Now, 13, am I crazy? Are you saying because we've already filled that gap, you think we might have a bounce a little bit earlier than the 200-day? Is that the read that I'm getting here?
Well, the gap to the downside was, that was what I was looking for in terms of where we're going to go, off these earnings. And the rate that we were moving down made me think earlier on that we were going to fill that gap, and we did. Later on that in the afternoon after they reported earnings. As far as a rebound here, I'm not particularly inclined to say that that's what could happen. Although we could trade up slightly, maybe get back above 440, or test the top of the floating or the bottom of the floating island there around 454 before we come back in lower. So there might be some bounce here or rebound.
Okay.
Because this is a pretty big selling candle.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I just wanted to mention about why this seemed like this was a big move. This has been their forward price earnings is really high. This is like really, really overvalued. Like a lot of these Mag 7 stocks are. But one of the things that they reported was that they are revising their expenditures and CapEx for the rest of the year, and I think that's one of the big reasons that helped push this lower. Because it was a billions increase in a revision. So I think that was not favorable to the market, but it was. I think they were just looking for profit takers were looking for an excuse to get out of this.
Okay. One other thing that I was noticing that I was kind of looking at while you were talking about that, 13. First of all, the RSI is definitely at a spot where we're good for a bounce here.
Yeah.
I was actually measuring the last time that we really kind of sold off on earnings. Someone checked me on the date, but I believe that's what this was. This October 26, 27 from 2022, we actually gapped down. I think that was on an earnings print. The volume stick is the highest that I've seen all time on this chart here on Meta. And so that move actually measured to about 21%. The pullback that we're at now is really only about 12%. I know. Actually, you know what? I guess it's down 15 here. So it's still less than the bigger pullback that we had before. I don't know. To me, I feel like there might be some more room to the downside. Well, this is what makes the market, and we'll see what we get here today in terms.
Yeah, that was the earnings was on October 26th.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. And they had the big EPS loss that quarter, bigger than the previous one, and then the one after that was even larger. There might have been some other things in there because we're just looking at EPS, but there might have been some other things in there that didn't like. But that was the date you were talking about. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So Meta here, we'll see. As far as a trade goes, I mean, day trades are a totally separate thing. But as far as like a swing trade goes here, I personally want this back in at the 200. We talked about earlier this week. We talked about trading stocks that you don't like, being able to remove your personal bias. Blah 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 blah. I gave you an example that I will never buy. Philip Morris, for example, for no matter what the setup is. Meta is a company that I really, really don't like and don't use and kind of despise. But even so, this is still a trade that I would take. We talked about putting those biases aside. This is one that I would do that on if the setup is right. So I'll wait till the 200-day here. Okay. Let's go ahead and run through some movers here real quick. Again, I'm going to try to keep my eye on the time here. I know we only have about 11 minutes. Let's run through some of the gappers. Whisk, good morning. By the way, thanks for sending me some of those pictures. If I wasn't out yesterday, I would have responded to you, but it looks like you're living your best life. That is really awesome. And your driver form or your swing form, man, you could probably give me some lessons. Anyway, good to see you having a good time. Good morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these stocks that are gapping here. The first one on the list, and 13, I know you're excited about this one. In fact, I'm going to let you just pretty much take this one. Ticker AIRE. This is Realpha Tech. This is popping in the after hours. I'm going to let 13 cover it. It's doing a really good job. It's doing a really good job holding its gains today. The clear spot today that jumps off the chart here is 180. Like, to me, this is as clear as day. If it breaks this, it has a chance of going higher. On the downside here, we've got about 165. It looks like it's at, or excuse me, 160. It looks like it's been holding this. I know this dipped to 140, got bought. We actually had really good volume buying out of that zone. So 140, probably another support area right beneath it. But 13, tell us what's going on here. What is driving this stock?
Relative volume, because yesterday they announced that they have an AI agent app for home buying. And here's the frustrating thing about this. Ever since the National Association of Realtors got that settlement handed down where they are no longer going to be able to take the 6% commissions, basically nationwide, that's kind of raised the question, well, how are these agents going to get paid? Or they're going to have to negotiate with the home buyer and the home seller. It's kind of throwing things up in the air as far as who's going to represent you when you're buying or selling a home. This is supposed to help with that. And I had originally thought that Rocket Mortgage, because I was reading their earnings transcript, they were talking about coming out with an AI based app, and they did. But it helps with the mortgage process. And I believe that they were also going to have something similar to what AIRE released yesterday. So, right idea, wrong company. Didn't know that this was what the AIRE had working on, but this is exactly the exact type of thing I was looking for Rocket to do, and this company did it. I think this could be a huge thing for the company, especially if the housing market begins to pick back up and home buyers are hitting the markets again.
Okay. So first of all, that's great. And I understand why you're frustrated, but to be honest, the way I look at this 13 is that you were so well prepared for this that now that we're seeing it on another stock, you're actually ready to go. So my first follow-up question here is, you're talking about this being kind of a good long-term thing. We talk a lot about some of these day traders, especially these gappers, being day trade only, not holding them overnight. Do you feel the same way here? Or is this something that maybe you could see have a little bit longer term? And then how is that going to affect your trade plan?
So let's start with the app itself. I think that I haven't even looked at it, so I'm not sure how it works. But the fact that they have something coming out that's going to kind of fit that need, I think that's a big deal. After that, I'm going to start looking at things like the management and how the company's run, because I don't want to get into anything that's just going to end up going bankrupt or having to get acquired, and I don't want to buy it at a high price that could end up getting a reverse splitting later. Haven't dove into the financials of our Alpha Tech or whatever their
Realpha
name is.
Yep.
Realpha. Okay, so I'd have to do some more diving in before I go long for a good period of time on this. But it's going to be a day trade today until I get some more information. But to answer your question, more research is needed. But this is very, very interesting. And if their app is real, then this probably could be a good thing if their company is well run.
Okay. So, so I guess then just keep us posted if you do any trading outside of day trading. Otherwise, what we're going to assume is that these positions are all going to be closed today, just for full transparency here. Still really like 180 here. I think a 180 break is coming here, or at least a test. Looks like we're getting some support at 165. Really good stuff here. Ticker AIRE. Okay. Next one on the list is going to be BRFH. This is Bar Fresh Food Group. Now, is that Barf Fresh? Okay, so it looks like that. See, this is why I was kind of double taking this. It is, in fact, Bar Fresh, but it actually, the first thing that stands out here is barf, which is just not appetizing at all. We won't get into that. In any case here, I don't really see a whole lot of new news, and it looks like this pop has pretty much been sold in its entirety, right? We're not quite a full round trip, but we are almost there. when we see some of these, I treat these all the same. Okay. Whether this is bar for bar, I'm going to put that aside for a sec. Until this thing can get above the VWAP and show us that it has strength, that VWAP is resistance. In fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if the stock traded up to the VWAP and then barfed all over itself and then traded back down. So unless we can actually take this VWAP out and then start using it as support, to me, this is kind of a no touch. Now, Smoke Tuna, if you're out there, good morning. But also, any of you folks, I shouldn't just say Smoke Tuna, any of you folks that have done a really good job of kind of figuring out where some of these trades bottom intraday, maybe then we'll have a trade set up back to the VWAP. But I really have to stress, we've seen this set up a lot. We've seen some news pop something on volume, and the VWAP literally acts as like a gatekeeper for that stock for the rest of the day. That's what I see here on ticker BRFH.
Yeah, the fact that you have it coming down ahead of the open, kind of gives you an opportunity to, that it could go back up again. Now, here's the thing. I don't think of fresh when I think of bars. And what this could end up being is more of a summer play because what they do is they make a bunch of frozen blendable drink products for like daiquiris and things like that. That's what this company is. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. This is more of a summer play, like going out to the river or the lake or the beach or whatever, and you just you want to get hammered and have a good time. They make some of these fruity cocktail drinks that you can blend or make yourself or that's what they provide. So that's really all that they do. I haven't seen anything else otherwise.
Okay. Real quick here. Ricky Zen, Living in Focus. Love this handle, by the way. How do we find these trades in the pre-market before they take off? My suggestion would be to find a really good psychic. I actually tried an 8-ball and that didn't work very much. I mean, so what are you asking? How do I know what stock is going to release news later, and how do I get in before that newsprint? I'm just a little confused kind of on what you're asking here. One of the things that we're doing is we're analyzing the stocks that have something driving them, and we're taking a look at how we can trade it post that initial pop. I don't have any really reliable way of having any type of precognition to news events. The one thing that I will say is that occasionally Benzinga will do exclusive news where we bring you the news maybe 30 or 15 minutes prior to the press release, but I don't think that's what you're asking for here. So what I would say strategy-wise, when these companies have these types of catalysts here, see what you can do after that initial pop. Otherwise, what 13 was kind of going over earlier with the example with AIRE, he had this thought about a product that's going to come out, what it's going to do, what kind of value it actually gives the end consumer, and then he attached that to a company that he thought would make a lot of sense. Well, they ended up not doing that, and it ended up being another company. 13, I don't know how you could have done that any differently. You know what I mean? Like you had all parts of the thesis there. You can't possibly know the future.
Right theme, wrong stock is really what it comes down to.
Yeah. So just to kind of like put a wrap on this, one of the things that we're going to do during the regular session, and I suppose you could do this during the pre-market session, we're going to watch a scanner that looks at the volume. Right. So when the volume starts to pick up to an abnormal level, we're going to get alerted to that stock. Now, hopefully that's going to be before the news has really made its circulation. And in that point, we could have a really early entry, but there's really no consistent way of understanding what's going to happen before it actually happens. T-minus 2 minutes. Love you guys.
And I'll just add one thing real quick. With AIRE, this is not moving on that news. This is actually on relative volume. So what you can do a lot of times is you can look for these companies by doing a broad scan of what's got a larger relative volume compared to the previous day or the previous week. And that'll give you a list of companies that may actually run more the following day or that day because their volume is increasing. Now, that's something that a lot of traders will pick up on and start to trade that. So that's you could definitely pick up relative volume after the news catalyst if you're still looking for things with volatility to trade. That would be a good way to do it.
Real good stuff here. I know we're running out of time. Next ticker here is PCSA. Looks like this is trading up here after Wainwright initiated coverage, gave the stock a buy rating, gave an $8 price target. Looks like that's what's driving this here. We're actually seeing two legs here on two separate volume pops, which is encouraging, right? We have the initial impulse move, and now we have the second move that's bringing us up to those highs. Watch this 253 to 255 spot. 13, if you have anything, you can come back on these. I just want to get this in before the open. Last one here is going to be OPTN. This is Optinos here. I'm not actually sure. Let me see it. Did this? Yeah, this did have a news print this morning, right? They provided a corporate update on Chance, whatever, launch and outlook, and announces preliminary first quarter net revenue of 14.9 million. That caused the stock to pop here already. Looks like we're coming back in here, but we're not fully breaking down. We're beneath the VWAP, but we really haven't started to accelerate to the downside. So as long as this volume expands again, there should be another opportunity here in OPTN.
Okay, we're about to open.
And we're about to open. I'm going to flip over to my main 113. If there's anything that we rushed over, again, I'm sorry I was late today with the logistics, but we did it. We did it. We made it. We're out here.
All right, that's great. All right, SQQQ, what are you going to do for me? And yes, STFU, I saw that that you were thinking about me when the SPY dropped. This is what I want to see. I want to see that correction so we can keep going. This is what the market needs to stay healthy.
I see Meta calls. Looks like my chart. Oh, I might have to. Oh, no, there we go. I was going to say I might have to log out and log back in here. Nope, it's working. We're good. Okay, so BARF. I'm just going to start. Maybe I shouldn't because it's not the ticker. It's not the actual ticker, and I should probably not get distracted, to be quite honest with you. Okay. Anyway, BRFH actually is popping here, so we'll see if this can get back to the VWAP.
It's right off the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, and this has been, this was falling into the open, so that's good for some upside. But I think you're right. I'd be probably wanting to exit this as soon as it gets up to VWAP.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's going to get that strength to continue. We'll see.
I don't either. And by the way, while I'm looking here, I do see Meta contracts crossing the line here in volume. There's a little bit of calls, but most of these are puts. Yeah, that was a CRISPR call. Yeah, a lot of Meta puts coming in. So, and actually, some of these look like they're not 450. Okay, so these are going to be in the money. Those might be closing transactions there on Meta. I did notice some NVIDIA calls got bought. How's that doing here this morning? How's some of these tech stocks doing? Lynn and Randy, by the way, good morning. I know you had mentioned it earlier. I don't think I addressed you. Wait, why is the keyboard not working?
CZU was getting a mention. That looks like it's fallen out of the open. Looking for $12 as a support level. It may have actually, got close enough to. Okay, well now we're moving up. It's got right back through VWAP and it's trying to push up. Trading between $12 and $13 right now. Let's see if it can break out in direction. Probably to the upside if we get enough volume to come in.
And this is CZU, ticker CZOO.
That's correct.
Okay, NVIDIA first move here to the VWAP and rejected. That could mean some more for the tech stocks if that's the case. Let me get over to CZU here. I did get my keyboard working, thankfully.
Yeah, it's trying to push through 13 right now.
Indeed. And actually, this was yesterday's intraday high here, right here on CZU.
Great call on CZU, guys.
MYNZ was a Charlie squawk. MYNZ. Maine's Biomed. Was there a piece of news with that?
CZU's coming in now. Trimming SQQQ since we're continuing to fall here in the broader market.
By the way, that ticker, this is a penny stock, but this MYNZ, we've got a PR here that's fresh regarding an AI algorithm. FDA clinical trial for cancer diagnostics. So it looks like AI cancer diagnostic PR here. This is coming back in though.
This is what Andy was talking about. Remember the AI?
Yes, but a lot of the viewers don't know who Andy is.
Well, I know, but I'm talking to you so that we can kind of bring that up. So this is something that we've discussed, that we've been trying to have a conversation about in happy hour about some of these medical companies using AI for early detection of like cancers and other disorders. So this is one of the things we've been kind of watching. This is which ticker, MYNZ?
MYNZ, yep. And it was a penny stock that popped into that dollar territory. It's almost retraced that entire stick, though. So there's probably something else that needs to be looked into here. Yeah. You guys were mentioning that CZU broke that top, right? Looks like it got straight up rejected at the intraday high, although it did take out that pre-market high. This actually coming back in now, CZU.
Yeah, so same thing with AIRE when it comes to MYNZ. This is another thing that's got an interesting product here, so we'd have to do some more research to see if this is worth holding on to for the long term, but it doesn't look like they have a whole lot of revenue right now. They probably are operating at a loss. Yes, they are. So
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say ticker AZN here. They are trading higher following a Q1 revenue beat. This actually potential gap and go here, right? This pullback was bought. Volume looks really good. We're above the VWAP here. This might be one of those day trades where you could kind of use the 9 EMA as a indicator to get out of it. Maybe ride this a little bit higher. I think a break of 76 might actually send this a little bit higher, but possible gap and go setup here. Ticker AZN. That's AstraZeneca.
Mentioning WISA. Not Alyssa. That's got a huge green candle here. Looking to take out 640. We're above this.
This is so crazy.
What?
My keyboard doesn't work. I can't type the tickers you're talking about, and it just did a second ago. I need the tech guy in here. Okay, I can't type. There it is. Look at this. Bluetooth, dude. Bluetooth is no good. The delay in the polling is just so garbo. Okay, here is WISA. This does look like this is popping above that. This was after hours high, it looks like.
Yeah, that is trying to get up to. Yeah. PCSA got rejected at 265, came back in, held at VWAP, might try again.
WIS greater than WISA, indeed, dude. Indeed. I can sign on that one. No, it's funny. So he sent me some pic. I had asked him if he would send me some pictures of the golf in Hawaii, and he sent me a picture of his golf swing. And I looked at it and I was like, damn, bro can swing a golf club real good. Turned the video around, showed all my golf buddies. I was like, this guy, he can play. So pretty awesome stuff, Wis.
DJT, that had a pop out of the open here. It came up to my 3850 handle. It got a little bit above it. Now it's trading back down. I think this could hold up here. That's what I'm going to be watching for. And if it does over the next 10, 15 minutes, I think it could push up to $40.
Dude, this reversal yesterday off of the pre-market bottom and then the VWAP reclaim led to expanding volume the rest of the day.
Yeah, that was interesting how it just kind of kept running. But I think there was also some news on the front of Trump as well. So that might have been helping fuel it as well. I can't say for sure. I wasn't following the news on it.
Looks like I froze it. See, I really don't like not being on my home base computer. Sorry about the delay here.
Overnight ship it next time.
Dude, I mean, if it wasn't, oh my God.
No worries. Just looking at PCSA right now. It looks like it's trying to take out the intraday high I just put in about 5 minutes ago or so.
Okay, we'll check on that. We'll check on that here in a sec.
Yeah, in PCSA that had a $8 price target. So
here we go.
I can't say it's not going to happen, that it's going to get to 8 today, but it's probably going to try to push for it.
Really good break here on PCSA.
Yeah,
really good break to the upside.
Got a little bit there. The next upside target I have on this one is 335.
Wes, I'm totally down for that. I feel like I might not be in your class, but always surround yourself with people that are better than you. And good morning.
Rising tide lifts all ships.
That's right. That's right. Okay, PCSA, this actually looks pretty good. This looks like this might be going higher here. I did notice that EJH was halted earlier today. And we talked about Visa the other day. This is interesting. So Visa really sold that earnings back. And I've noticed a number of times today, more put sweeps. Those last ones I was just looking at were kind of small. So I don't take anything away from that, but it looks like people are buying more Visa puts. This, to me, 13, I know we've talked a lot about the consumer kind of weakening here. Does this move in Visa tell you that? Because that's kind of what it's saying to me.
That's the first thing that I thought of when I saw that.
Good.
Weakening consumer.
Yep.
And, it goes right back to, what we were saying with Amazon and Bezos selling. He's thinking that the consumer is going to be weak too.
Yeah,
we're going to have a weak consumer. We just got GDP. Now, we're going to need next month's GDP too, because we do have a leap year, and there were some, and we did have Easter earlier this year in the first quarter, not the second. So there are some, variances here compared to how it's been measured in past years. It was pretty much GDP would look like it was cut in half from the previous read. So I want to see what we get next month to make sure this is just not an anomaly. Okay. But to see the GDP go down that much, Part of it has to be a weakening consumer, but I think it's also just a little bit of an overshoot based on the leap year. So we'll see if next month if we get a similar read.
I just notice that Ford calls are getting bought. By the way, speaking of the consumer weakening here, we're looking at Lulu here. This bounced pretty nicely off that 331 area. This, to my eye, looks like this is going to roll over and kind of double test this area as support. This actually goes back to May of 2023. So this support is pretty strong. It's obviously held it once, but again, with that weakening consumer, I think that this is going to continue to proliferate here. This sure looks like it's rolling over here on Lulu. Okay,
the bar fresh one that that one right up to VWAP. So hey, if you were trading bar fresh and you were trading it for the VWAP, hey, you got it before the vomit hit the fan.
But what did we say? If it has to get above that VWAP, right? It has a chance of actually being rejected at that VWAP. Sure looks like that's exactly what happened here. Jay is saying, can't be just the consumer if AXP is as strong as it was. I would push back on that, Jay. I think that AXP has a slightly more affluent user base. And as a result, that lag or that slowdown is either A, not as pronounced, or B, kind of kicked down the road. I would say that AXP is another one of those that we should watch over the next couple of months, but that's kind of how I look at that. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I feel like AXP, generally speaking, has a more affluent customer base than Visa. This was a straight up rejection at that VWAP. That was literally textbook. PCSA pull to the VWAP here, trying to bounce. Got VWAP at 238. It is trying to move off that level.
Yeah, I'm just trying to put some levels in here for AIRE. I don't think we've ever said anything about levels. Maybe for an entry there could be a good EMA that it pulls back to for an entry, but at the moment I don't have levels yet. I'm just putting them in.
Okay, PCSA does look like this is bouncing here on the upside. 260, definitely a level it's going to have to clear out if it wants to go higher from here. I'm not even sure that that's the case here. A lot of selling volume. Now we've broken beneath the VWAP. Look out here, PCSA. High lag. I know this is a penny stock, but you guys were talking about this potentially curling off the bottom. I like to call this the smoke tuna special when he calls these bottoms sometimes to the penny. So we'll see here if that's what we're getting on iLag. AIRE, you said you were adding levels for that one. I'll see if I can eyeball any for you here. 140, definitely downside support. That actually was resistance yesterday in the after hours. I think you'll also get some more support here about 125. This looks to be yesterday's intraday high. And then as far as upside goes here, 180, still that upside level here, 180.
Yeah,
that was the only level that we gave. That was the only level that we gave.
Yeah, 110 looks like a support level.
Sorry, I guess you had another note there, Jay. Again, I can't see as many on this computer screen, so maybe I missed that. But in any case,
all right,
I still stand by it. Some meta calls. Those are cheapo calls, though.
Let's see if AIRE can get back above 155 because that's a level that I have and it fell beneath it. So we'll see.
That's the top of that first bounce or that second bounce there, huh? Yeah.
Well, I wasn't looking at a 5-minute chart. I was looking at a daily. But now that I have looked at it after putting it in, it seems like that's kind of the support for the consolidation that we've had in much of the pre-market and after hours. Did fall down to 138, 139 earlier this morning. But so I would probably say somewhere between there and the 200 EMA, which I have at 134, is probably going to be a good spot for support. So we'll see if that holds up.
This one an interesting print expiration. This is an interesting one. So I'm seeing some meta calls, pretty decent sized block here. 492 calls in the single transaction. The transaction cost $288,000 for the trader to open here. Bought the 600 call expiring October 18th.
Okay.
Now, you know what? I guess I can't say for certain without debit and credit information whether that might have been a sold call. But to my eye here, it looks like they're given some time for a potential move back up. And that would actually be new highs on Meta if we're able to get that. Okay, interesting. That is an interesting call buy.
And, you know, it's
$250,000, more than $250,000 spent on that single position.
It's you know, it goes in line with the expectation that me and, you know, some other talking heads on TV have been looking for. We're looking for a correction, and then we're looking for a rally later on. Jay, an election trade. There you go.
You know what? That's a really good call. See, I got that one, Jay. Carmen, I had asked you for this earlier, and you said that you'd provide it, and you remembered without me even having to ask you. And for that, I appreciate it. If I had a soundboard, I'd be giving you some drops right now. Sales have slowed down a good bit in my retail store this month of April. We have blowout sales year over year, January, February, March. April is not going to beat last month or last year's April. Okay, April's usually good because of the tax returns, but you're seeing weakness this year. That's good to know. That kind of confirms our thesis here with the weakening consumer, Carmen. Really appreciate that. And by the way, STFU, you were mentioning Meta here. This actually does look fairly strong in the pre-market considering the whack that this got yesterday. It looks like my platform froze up again here. Oh my.
And it's because of that drop and how the low RSI, it is going to bounce a bit, but that could be over a few days before it potentially goes lower. WISA still kind of consolidating here, looking like it's putting in some kind of a bull pennant or bull flag. 657 is the next upside target I have. Tesla revoking job offers to recent graduates in China. Okay.
That seems like a good idea, frankly.
It does seem like a great idea.
I hate to be a jerk, but whatever.
Barf finally showing some more strength here, going through VWAP.
Okay, so it did go through VWAP. I have mine right at the VWAP here. The volume, I will say though, the volume looks good.
Mm-hmm. MACD looks good. Like it's about to go green.
Yeah. Okay, 13. You're right. This could go right here. 208's the spot right here. Volume looking good and still building.
Just be careful. This could completely pull because we're in this kind of environment right now where these rallies sometimes aren't taking shape because we're bit of a bearish tape right now.
And here we go. And remember, without any of the broker stuff here, I can't see the level 2. So call that out. Here we go on BRFH. We'll see if we can get above this. Battle at the VWAP literally going on right now. STFU saying you got a blocker number. WISA will only break your heart, bro. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the heartbreaker celebration where you draw a heart and then you punch it out. Bang, heartbreaker. Let's go.
Jeez. I'm not in WISA right now. I was just mentioning. I'm looking at a lot of these and mentioning what I see. Not necessarily in these. I'm in
here.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was the first break above on BRFH. It looks like it's trying to go higher. We're getting another volume stick that is expanding. Our volume is continuing to expand here. Look for this to go higher. I would say next spots I have 249, 298, and then 5. JK, you were asking earlier how we find spots. We basically are looking at a chart and we're seeing where the stock kind of changed its direction and all of that and where it's going. 13 also will use a lot of moving averages. So we also use some moving averages, whether they're EMAs or SMAs, and look for levels that way. We'll look for volume shelves where volume really stood out at particular price levels. We can go over that some more just kind of on an ongoing basis here. BRFH, this looks like this might be going higher here. Wis, you had mentioned AGBA was getting a pop there. Holy spike, you said? Let's see. Looks like, yes. It looks like we did kind of trade up off the bottom and then spike, but this is down considerably
from yesterday
when we were trading and the day before.
Yeah.
And the day before. Yeah.
So this is just, it looks like it's getting picked up on that weakness. I don't know how high this goes, but let's say it has enough strength to get up to 250. That's going to be about where there's a lot of consolidation from yesterday. We could run into some resistance there.
NVIDIA dip. So Jay, you were saying that the dip is bought, or did you take these? NVIDIA, SMI, both bought on dip, Meta too. So these are clearly getting bought here. And actually the calls kind of confirm that as well that we were seeing here. So it looks like tech's getting bought on this sell-off. Right? SMCI, same deal. We already talked about Meta. Okay. Early indication that tech's getting bought. How is that SQQQ doing?
It's looking fine for the moment. It's still at 1242. I shaved a little bit off at 1250 earlier today, so it's come back in a bit, but it doesn't look like we're necessarily falling out of bed here with the SQQQ. I don't know that this is necessarily the strength that it needs to go lower. I mean, I'm looking at the SPY, I'm looking at the SQQQ, I'm looking at some of these other things and we're seeing this buying in some of these tech names, but it just doesn't look like it's enough quite yet. At the moment.
Sorry, I can't. So I don't like this.
I mean, Microsoft finally took a hit. They needed that. They're down beneath 400 for the first time in a while. And they haven't even reported earnings yet. That's the
actually.
Today.
So I'm sorry that this took me so long because you've already moved on. SQQQ pull back to the VWAP. Looks like it's trying to bounce here. I'm seeing DraftKings call. These are small though. How's that DraftKings trade working that we talked about? With tech selling off, I'd imagine this is also moving lower, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, DraftKings. That's not great.
Just looking around. Okay, looks like PCSA is trying to turn around here. I still need more confirmation than what I'm seeing, though.
Yeah, this 220 spot, this was a knife away from the VWAP. I'd want to see something a little bit stronger there as well.
Yeah, I'll wait a little bit longer. The MACD is looking like it's indicating that this could go lower. I think I'll hold off on PCSA. Now, WISA, on the other hand, I know somebody doesn't want me to touch it, but I think it's starting to move now, so it's really looking attractive. But we'll see. This is something that I am going to be careful in because it's already made moves previously. Volume's really starting to fall, and it's going to need more in order to get above 650. So just have to be careful with this one if I decided to pick it up here.
NVIDIA trying to break to new highs here as well. BRFH is trying to go more here.
Yeah, I just saw that too. It's trying to move. Still seems like this market's a bit weak. So I'm not too enthusiastic about jumping into some of these names quite yet. Now, if I'm late, if I miss that opportunity, that's fine. Rather be safe than sorry today.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm just going to be patient a little bit. So I've got to be patient or you'll be one.
So I love that. I love that saying. That's got to be a shirt. So I actually love this formation here on BRFH. I think this goes higher right now. Yeah, I think this goes higher right now. They're back testing some of these levels. Volume looks good. It's clearly still expanding.
Yep, I think we're going to see it go up to 222. Maybe get a little bit of resistance there, or it could just blast right through it on big volume. But I think 222. That's the level that it needs to defeat.
Okay.
I love how you've created this stock to be BARF.
I mean, dude, that's so the first. I literally looked at the company's name, and the first thing I read was BARF. Like, I can't help it. I'm sorry about that, and I don't even mean to like disparage them in any way.
No, I don't necessarily think of freshness when I think of bars.
Yeah, I mean, me.
Unless the beer.
Still seeing some good option activity here. Nothing really stands out, though.
All right. I got stopped out of BRFH. Not a big deal. Probably will go here now that it shook me out. But
yeah, watch for this to really kind of hold this area here right at 198 on the downside.
And I'm not gonna probably get back in this right now just because those wicks that it's been putting in on top there aren't the greatest. I might be reading that wrong, but I just don't want to touch this at the moment.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of these stocks that just like this are ones that I get shaken out of, right? It looks like the setup's good. It trades down, it shakes me out, and then it goes, and just part of the game here. I don't think that this is dead yet. No. Gary, is Ralph the name of the CEO? That's kind of funny too. I don't think so, but LOL. Float on this stock, by the way, just under 10 million. So volume here looks incredible compared to its average.
Okay, that one's not looking good. How much time do we have left in this? Okay, we got about 10 seconds left before this candle closes. And then we'll see what BARF does.
I love it. I love it, STFU. I like laughing like a maniac too. I think that's fun. Okay, so this is still kind of strong. You look at the higher lows here. I mean, until this breaks down, this is actually still in play. Didn't mean to click on ACON. PCSA, good call there, 13 on not saying that that's ready to reverse yet. It doesn't look like it.
No.
What was the other one that we had earlier? I don't see it here anymore. AIRE, there it is. Where do we go here? Okay, so that still, the story here is going to be the VWAP still.
Yeah.
Marvell and AMD went green. You know what? I actually did see some Marvell calls on here earlier. It didn't look out of the ordinary, so I didn't mention it. But now that you're mentioning that it's following tech green, I guess that makes sense. MRVL. Yeah, I think there were the 70 calls that I was looking at too. An MRVL. What's up, Malia? Sorry, the whole staff's in here. I'm saying hi to people.
Man, the Mag 7s that are down today are really down. Amazon, Google, Meta, and Microsoft.
Amazon. So, okay, let's start with Amazon there because we've been talking a lot about the consumer weakening. You talked about the whole Bezos thing. Amazon, really good read on that. I really think that this is kind of playing into what we're talking. I know that this says here, large cap tech stocks fall in sympathy with Meta, but I think there might be something else going on here at Amazon, don't you? Especially with those insider transactions.
With the selling, I mean, I think it's all just they're anticipating weakness. They're also getting, a lot of their, I think a lot of their products do come from China. So I think they're with the way things are going over there, it kind of is leading a sell-off in that as well. But I still think that Amazon isn't valued correctly.
Okay.
Because of the their web services, that's going to continue to be a huge money generator for them. And I think it's only going to grow. I think that needs to be factored into their valuation a little bit more heavily.
And that fits into our data center play that we were kind of talking about as well. Seeing some GL80 calls crossing the tape here. How's GL doing?
Here goes WISA.
75. WISA's going.
It's starting to move. And BARF is barfing a bit here.
Okay. WISA, let's see, 650. Definitely one of the spots here, 11 cents away. 650, your first spot, 680, the intraday high. That might be your next one. Z is in the office. Z is in the office coordinating. He's not hanging on a street corner. Don't worry, we're going to send Aaron Bree out there for hanging out in a street corner a little bit later. Z's in here making sure that this event goes off without a hitch.
They still asking people what AI is. Oh, look at AVTX. No. AVTX has it's a very, very slow moving, low volume stock, but this thing is just kind of green.
This was a winner call from earlier this week, right? Monday, someone was on this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Low volume, but great call off the 12 level. Man, that was a good move off the 12 level. Was this Crow? I don't know who this was, but this was good. Big volume spike here today too. More NVIDIA calls crossing the tape, by the way. We talked about the tech dip getting bought. Sure seems like that in the options market here as well. The Crow called AVTX. Yeah, that was good. Like I said, our community is just out here making winners. You love to see it. Lion Atlas, I know you were mentioning NEM earlier. That is continuing to move higher here. Someone else had gold miners in the happy hour show, right? There was another one, this one, and another one that began with an F.
FNV, I believe, is what it was.
Thank you. So those miners working.
Yeah, and it's because of our earnings, right? Yeah, they had
Yep.
earnings. So that was a
Yep.
great call from Happy Hour that we got. That was like a few days ago too. I think that was on Monday.
Oh, this PCSA has been a former reverse splitter. Careful here. PCSA, maybe this is reversing off 215 here. What I would want for a long side trade here, unless you somehow hit this bounce, I'd actually want this to reclaim that VWAP, very much like we were waiting for on BARF, BRFH.
Well, BARF is barfing right now. I'm glad I got stopped out when I did because it is getting ugly there. That's why you have stops, folks.
Hold its hair back, Joe. College was good times, dude. College was good times. Scanner is actually drying up here. Teradyne, they had earnings, right? Yeah, they're still higher. Maybe this resolves higher.
Hey, Voodoo, how you doing?
STFU, stop fighting the lure and accept the dark side. Dude. You guys and you're trying to get me to give in to temptation every day. How's DraftKings doing? DraftKings, this is up off the low. This is actually $1 up off the low now on DraftKings. Still lower than when we talked about entering that, I'm pretty sure. But maybe that's the bottom. Maybe we can bounce right here. DKNG.
BARF still trying to hang in there. Not for me at the moment, though.
Wow, this keyboard, dude. It's like the batteries are low and there's like delay. Nothing we can't handle here. And look, I know we popped above that VWAP. It's 13. I know you tried to trade that and you got stopped when it didn't work. First of all, really good discipline, right? Because we had a thesis. We were looking for it. It didn't work. You said, I'm moving on. I'm not going to let this get out of hand. I'm just moving on. Maybe this sets up again here. We really need to get above and build above this VWAP. I know we got that first volume expansion that took us above, but it really turned into sell volume right there. And then we dropped beneath it. We want to see it build above. Yeah. Hi, Edwin.
I wasn't looking for a whole lot. I wanted to just get it up at, I wanted to exit at 220, 222. Where I have a level because I felt like it was going to pull back from there. It didn't even get up there, so my trade didn't work out because I didn't have not only the volume to get up there, but I think I priced my limit order a little too high.
Okay, well, I love how you're already analyzing stuff. That's really good.
You can sit in a corner and sulk all you want about making a mistake. You just got to learn from it and move on. You're not going to get that money back. So just move on.
Treat it as a lesson.
And it's a lesson, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really good advice, 13. Crow saying, in my opinion, BRFH is shaking people out. Crow,
probably.
Until we really see this break down some more, I think you're probably right there. One of the things that's just so intriguing here is the range. The range is so juicy. We're sitting here at 2. This thing printed 5s in the pre-market earlier. So, I mean, just 150% upside on just today's range, making this really, really appealing. But I agree with you. Until this really starts to break down, I don't think we can assume, I think we can kind of assume that it's shaking people out.
Yeah, it's got to get back above 2, and there's a decent sized well there. Nothing that couldn't chew through eventually. Check.
Yeah, you hear that? Yeah, they're doing mic checks here. Oh, look out, guys. Zunaid's got a blazer on now. He's got a
They're not doing keyboard checks, though.
No, in fact, I'm about to take this keyboard and go replace the battery as soon as the show's over here. I don't want to deal with this.
I would just say, like with any of the other numerous computers in there, to steal one of their keyboards.
Yeah, I mean, that just means I have to like get up and then
getting up, God.
I don't want to do that. There's like stuff happening here.
You mean like walk?
Really?
God, what is...
No, I'm going to do plenty of walking. We don't get our steps today. We got to get our steps today. Lynn saying bonds seem to be an issue. Price down, yields up. 10-year at the highest level in 5 months. The GDP report sucked. Jay, I know, Jay, you've been watching the bond market a lot and the dollar.
BARF.
BRFH, is it
it popped. it popped back up to VWAP or my VWAP. Might be starting to move here, and so we'll see if this can get the strength to go. Like, who was on this? Was it Crow or Crow? Let's see if,
oh, by the way, more Marvell calls. I know that one followed it going green. Another 50K, 260 contract sweep there on Marvell. That expires. Actually, I think that expires today, right? Today is the 26th. No, tomorrow. I beg your pardon.
And Barf just vomited everywhere. Wissa giving back that pop.
Okay.
Well, this market really doesn't know what it wants to do, does it?
And BRFH straight up rejection here. Careful. Teradyne still doing pretty good. Is this Carrier Global? Is this moving? Was this earnings? Yeah. This actually looks like this might go higher here on CARR, Carrier Global.
Oh,
Ryan, let's talk about wine. Have you tried Tattinger? Rustam, I don't know how much we can talk about wine. I haven't, though. In fact, let me add that to the list. Is it a red? Because if it's not a red, it's wrong.
All right. All right, Lynn. Why is hollow up? What's going on? What'd you do?
Low. Go low, Wiss. Go low, dude. PCSA, did that start to move? 230s here on PCSA. Let's see what happens at that VWAP at 236. PCSA. CLSK calls getting bought. What's Bitcoin doing here today? CLSK, the dip got bought here on this one too, curling off 18. White champagne. Rustam, I can't say that I'm ever going to try that. I'm not a champagne person.
So Hollow's moving on. Convertible note sale announcement.
Okay. Is that really notable, or?
It seems like any news with Hollow is going to drive it, even if it's bad.
One of those.
I don't know.
Spotify, we talked about this the last couple of days. This gave back its gains, sold off again. This actually went right down to where it was prior to earnings and is bouncing. Spotify, I think eventually this gets above 300. Bitcoin
Barf.
go big down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think with Bitcoin, I was talking to some folks in the happy hour chat yesterday. I think if Bitcoin loses 62, we could see it go under 60. Now, when I say lose 62, what I mean is if we get a daily close underneath 62, we get a 2 or 3 of those. I think sub 60 is in the books.
And which ticker was this again? I'm sorry.
This is Bitcoin.
Oh gosh, BTC.
Yeah, this is Bitcoin. I think. I think if we lose if it starts to lose 62 and starts closing underneath 62, then we're going to probably end up going under 60.
Market Sniper, the prisoners one. Yes, there are several bottles from this company. They're all
19
awesome.
crimes.
19 crimes is pretty good. STFU saying, Ryan, you don't like champagne. Are you against crushing hangovers and day-long headaches or something? I'll go. I'm not even sure I've actually had a real hangover. Thanks, Dad, because he never had one either, and he sent those genes to me. Honestly, no, dude. Champagne, like the bubbliness, like I don't like it. Stag's Leap is what you mean, Rustam. That is my favorite winery in all of the world at the moment. Stag's Leap.
Wissa just gave it to me. Wissa just gave it to me. That was
sorry,
the I was looking for.
Sorry, I'm a little bit slow here. Next to my eye here, 13,680 on yesterday's intraday high, going to be your next resistance spot.
Well, it's okay because I already took profit.
Oh, okay, great.
I just wanted to play that move.
Yep, selling into strength, dude. Selling into strength.
Yep. Now it's 660, so that was a good one. Now the next upside target I have in Wissa is going to be 705, 7 to 705.
I'm seeing Mama on the scanner here.
Oh,
Mama.
Mama.
Potential bounce off the VWAP here. Ticker MAMA. Never brought this up before. Mama's Creations. Interesting. Maybe we're bouncing here. This is low volume. That was more.
I need to find out more about this company. I got to see what they do. Mama's Creations. Come on.
I'll let you do that. I'm going to keep rolling through stocks here. BRFH looks like this is kind of rolling over here. This is done until it can really kind of get above I wouldn't even try. I think this might actually break down.
It's a deli company.
PCSA might reclaim its VWAP here.
Mama was on Benzinga. Yeah, so it's a deli food company. That might be, I mean, you tell me, what do you think, Ryan? Do you think, deli meats, things of that nature are going to be okay for as a consumer player? Or do you think they're gonna cut that out too?
I would imagine that there would be a level of consumer that drops down to sandwiches and deli meats, right? Like
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
yeah. I mom and pop sandwich shops. I think anything not Subway. that's how I'll do it. Anything not Subway, I think, is probably pretty good. I would imagine. I don't know. I really don't like Subway sandwiches. PCSA trying to get to the VWAP here. Watch this move above 236 here. The one thing I've noticed is that the volume hasn't really expanded off of this lower level. If we get that on a move through 236, I think we're probably going to try and test this 268 high. That's what it feels like to me. Oh my gosh. Hollow appearing on the scanner. What did Randy do? What did Randy do this morning? Oh my goodness. Yeah. This dip got bought hard. And this, once it retested the VWAP, we've got some more expanding volume here. Hollow's back, folks.
A whole casino in the back of that deli shop? Probably. How many times have you heard about, a side gig and it leads to a back room full of slot machines and craps tables? Anyway, Bar Fresh still looks, Bar Fresh might test the 65 EMA again on the 5-minute. It's getting really close. ARE, that's going to probably come down to about 135, and where it could find support. So that would be my next target for the downside, 135 on AIRE.
Hollow going for new highs right here on Hollow.
WISA 695, almost to 7, where I was talking about. So this one was awesome.
Mamas, they sell frozen meatballs. I wonder if they're good. I actually had a meatball appetizer at dinner last night that was spectacular. We went to this Italian place where they hand make their own pasta. Oh my God.
That sounds awesome.
It was so good.
Now, I do want to illustrate, I think it was STFU's point about WISA. About
oh my God, WISA, dude.
It can rip, or it can pull pretty handily. I've seen that happen with WISA. You can look to the left and you can see how, we get these really, really nice moves and then it absolutely knifes. Look at what it did yesterday when it got to 680. Huge candle that it took out.
And
to his point, watch for that.
And when we pushed away from the VWAP here, 13, I said 680 is going to be the next spot that we challenge here. We've broken that. We're going for 7. But you're right. At some point, this is going to knife. Be careful. Make sure if you're in this here, this is the type of move you want to be selling into.
Yeah.
Even if you don't hit the top or hit the bottom, if you can consistently sell into moves that look like this, no matter how big the move is, you're going to do fine. And so here's a great example of you guys identifying a junk stock. Multiple people here hit it. Where's my soundboard? I want to be able to hit register rings. You guys are doing it. You folks are doing it. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I think it's great that we've got me thinking, oh, this is going to go high. We got STFU thinking that you got to watch out for this. That's both sides. Be careful. I mean, I think it's great that he mentioned that, because that absolutely is what happens with WISA. So be careful if you're not selling into this. Let's see what else is going on. AIRE might be turning around. It has a bottom right now of 140, which is just above the pre-market bottom of 139. So might be getting support there. We'll have to see if that holds up. Mama looks like it's continuing to turn around. What's up?
I'm just kind of going. Oh, this looks like a closing trade, maybe. I'm just kind of going through some of the unusual options. I actually filtered this to only look for really big trades. There was a $1.22 million option transaction here. The 700 calls on Eli Lilly, ticker LLY. The expiration is for June 19th, and there were 200 contracts traded here. This, to me, these are deep in the money calls. I'm wondering if this was a trade that was closed for profit.
STFU, I was just thinking the same thing. WIS is going to get halted
smokes.
soon here.
Holy
The next
smokes. Let me go
upside
back
target.
to it. Let me go
Yeah,
back
next
to it.
upside
Sorry.
target for WISA is 775. It is absolutely ripping right now. 730 just broke. I know that there's that question's in everybody's mind. Do you regret getting out of this early? No, I do not. I got the trade that I wanted. I cannot fucking be upset about. And sorry for the language. I cannot be
That's fine.
for anything that goes on afterwards because it's not part of the plan. Did I miss out on money? Sure, but I didn't plan around this move. So
13. Will you get another chance? Do you think?
So that's the thing. If we do get some pullback here and it consolidates above one of these levels that I have marked off here, that would be enticing for me to try again. But we haven't seen that yet. I want to see this move kind of slow down, and I want to see the consolidation first. It's not.
I appreciate that answer, but I was asking generally. Like, do you think another stock will give you an opportunity? Because to me, that's what I tell myself. If I like capture a little bit of this, like let's say I buy it here 645 and I sell it at 677, and then it goes another 50 cents. Like I'm not mad about that because I know there's going to be another opportunity to hit the same type of thing, which is why focusing on this consistently being able to hit stuff like this, even if the stock's junky, you're going to do fine. That's kind of but I actually appreciated your answer because you were just.
Voodoo's funny. The
salt is good. It seasons the meat.
Saltier than a basket of fries.
Look, Voodoo's obviously been around. Okay, this isn't Voodoo's first day. He's seen some things.
Yeah,
we go with that.
You guys can rag on me all you want for missing that last candle we just had, but it's fine.
I mean, so let's review this though. Look at all the things that we talk about, right? We talk about, someone asked earlier, I think it was JK asking earlier about levels. 650, clearly a well-defined level here. Okay. Look what the volume did. As we pushed through this level, look what this volume did. That's why we went higher. That's why we didn't knife. There was more buying volume that expanded right as we moved through 650. So maybe we still get a knife later on, but volume is going to tell the story. And if you're going to practice anything every day, even if you don't trade, watch the volume on some of these names. Watch the volume. It tells the story. Hollow has shares to short from Interactive Brokers. Lynn, thank you.
Oh, they're all over that. I was looking at something else and I don't remember what it was.
PCSA,
but,
that was being mentioned.
MTC, I know folks were talking about this one this morning because it did have a nice pop out of the gate, but this thing has given all that back and then some. We're down trading beneath the 200 EMA, which I have at 318. This thing just knifed like crazy, and it probably could go lower. This is
downside halt right here at 360.
Yeah, downside halt. This is a China name. I don't know if there's going to be any bounce here, but if anybody's interested in playing this, you could look at 305 as a level. You could look at 275 to 280, and also 260. I'm not going to be trying this, but those are some levels I see just based on yesterday's price action.
You guys like that? I say WISA can knife. I change away from it, and then as soon as I change away from it, it knifes. Was that fun? Did you enjoy that, Jay Walker? It is absolutely. Absolutely. Miles, good morning. You're mentioning MNY. Let me pull that up. MNY's pop on volume here. This is a good one. Nice job, by the way, identifying some of these. You catch some of the ones that I don't. So you're obviously looking for the right things there.
STFU, let me know when a stock scares you so I don't touch it, because that was a great call.
What Tesla at the 165 wall right now? Here we go. You know what? That Tesla range earlier here, this 164 area, I think 168 going to be your next upside level there.
AIRE going lower. I'm going to try it down.
So many times one of you guys calls something and then it does it on my end in real time. Jay Walker, we've been watching this market for years now, every single day, and we're recognizing patterns and we're trying to tell you what we see. That
It's
is
almost like I
literally
learned
how we
something.
share information. Yeah. And you know what? So I don't even want to take credit for all of this, because one of the things that I did when I first started was I just listened to everybody that was more experienced than me. That's why I highlight a lot of you guys that have been trading for a long time. I mean, Jay, I'm not trying to say you're old here, but you're well experienced. I want to know what you're seeing. I want to, even if it's something different than what I'm seeing, I want to know. That's valuable information to me. Marvell's still going here. I actually haven't seen much on Marvell ever since I filtered my options, so maybe it's just not all that big. Here it is. Marvell's still printing highs here. Actually did a really good move off the VWAP. What was the stock that reported earnings this morning? Gap and
There was
Go.
a lot of them.
No, there was one that we were looking at earlier. Let me see if I can. Wasn't Meta. Although Meta is bouncing right off that gap fill. Joe, that was such a good call.
Those gaps, man, they do want to get filled. Bar Fresh coming back up, tested VWAP again. Not sure if this is going to be the time it actually gets to go above 220 and hold, but we'll see. ABTX still climbing. There's a mention of Palantir climbing too. What's going on with that?
Okay, I'm going to check LRCX because this.
Oh yeah,
this was red last night. The chip fab. This got smoked. It looks like in the after hours yesterday. Bought all the way back up this morning in green, pretty nicely here, 2.5% almost on LRCX. So a lot of these tech names that you've shouted have been bought. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did someone mention IBM earlier? Did that get bought this morning as well?
That one didn't go down as much. It was down yesterday in after hours. I don't know what it was doing this morning. PCSA still going sideways.
Actually, IBM. So yeah, so this reported mixed results, but it looks like the bleeding is stopped here. Volume actually looks pretty good. IBM might turn around here from 167. Glad to see the holdings in my folio are turning up. Folks are buying the dip. That seems to be a theme here. We're seeing a lot of dip buying happen this morning. Oh. Man, the office is starting to pop here. I get excited on days like this, 13. I really do.
It's going to be a fun time.
It is going to be a fun time. Oh, my God. Look at this call by here on Pfizer.
Ooh.
27.5 strike. Someone bought 17,500 calls. The 27.5 calls expires September 20th of this year. Yeah, this is a new buy right here. Traders buying Pfizer here, $1.66 million to open this trade. They paid 90 some cents here. Let's see, 95 cents per contract. They bought 17,500 of them. 27.5 strike expiring in September. Pfizer, ticker PFE. That is an unusual call buy into some weakness here. Now, part of me wonders if they sold these calls. That just seems aggressive,
I don't know, man.
That seems really aggressive if that's what happened here.
This is a pretty sizable move down off the highs.
And this is a support area.
I think those are those are on the line side.
I'm actually gonna, I don't like Pfizer as a company, but I am gonna watch this. I am curious about this transaction.
Oh man, look at WISA. This is what SFU was talking about. This is what he was talking about.
Puts in TSM 1.5 million. These might have been 130 strike. Expires August 16th. 2,100 puts. There's some big transactions happening now. Okay.
PCSA, we got to mention that in the chat. That's trying to make its way up through VWAP right now. There is a huge, and I do mean huge, wall at 250. So if we chew through that, this thing could really start to move. but we got to get up through that first.
It's got to reclaim that VWAP. I've got 236 as the VWAP, and it's trying right here. PCSA.
Lion Atlas says IBM crashed. Just turn it off after 30 seconds. Turn it back on.
Yeah, M season, we can't tell you to get in or out of a stock, my man. That's something you're going to have to figure out. I'm sorry. We are not licensed, and we are not here to trade your account. Hollow 275.
AIRE through that 200 EMA. Next level I have is down at 120.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. That might be a first. But you guys can laugh with me at the same time. That works.
That's so funny.
April, appreciate that. So there was a ton of open interest in there, so they could be a cover. You know what? We'll know tomorrow, April. We'll know tomorrow. In fact, I'm going to add that to my notes here. This is really good spot. I appreciate this. 31250. We're going to check that tomorrow and see if that's a close. Great call there, April.
Lion Atlas has been talking about CAT all morning and how that's getting hammered off of their earnings. Which one are you talking about, Nicholas Lavelle? The market halt on again? Which one? What are we talking about? I don't see any halts on anything that we were trading this morning.
And by the way, I don't know what he's referring to, but the market itself, like the entire market, can get halted. Like we've actually seen that on like when the Dow drops like a ton. So that can happen. That's not what's happening right now. Oh man, there is starting to get a lot of stuff, dude.
What's that?
There's a lot of stuff starting to happen for this event in the office, and I'm like in this like little like booth area room.
Just watching it like it's Christmas, right?
Well, I'm just waiting for Calvin Johnson to walk by here. And guys, I actually use this time real quick. I encourage you to check. I know we're a financial news media company, and I know that sports doesn't do it for everyone here. I get it, but a lot of overlap in sports and finance. And I will say, like I said, the event that we're trying to put, we have a very, very unique angle at this particular event. And the events team has literally been working around the clock trying to put this thing together. So I encourage you all to check it out throughout the course of the day. It's free. Just check out our YouTube. And if you want to see some analysis on the picks later, your boy's going to be doing that a little bit later today. So be sure to check us out in there.
Thanks for clearing that up, Nicholas. I got what you're saying now. That's a good joke. WISA is trying to turn around. It's going to come back up to VWAP. Might get rejected there. Mama is coming back.
Yeah, saw that one coming.
Money Hero is still consolidating, but it's above VWAP. Still very, very low volume. This is the one that we were
That's
like,
MNY, right? Is that
yes,
what that
it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Puits. Barf bouncing back. Well, actually, did that find a bottom? All jokes aside, BRFH, did we find a bottom maybe? It didn't really break down.
No.
You know what? This might be one of those afternoon plays, 13, where we see this really kind of take off in the afternoon.
It could be. It's kind of just going through a bit of consolidation between the VWAP and the 65 EMA. Well, it's gonna, we'll have to wait and see what direction it chooses. But
wow. So I interrupted you again. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You get excited. It's fine.
Meta here. More calls getting bought. More calls. Meta at highs here. Jay saying Meta impressive. Indeed, Meta is impressive.
Hollow is still rising. 283, looking for 3.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Ryan is fired up, Tuna. M season. That response bummed me out, Ryan. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I guess I should have elaborated. What are the tech for air? Like, is there a big sell wall? Okay, well, that's a much better question that I can answer. So first of all, look, I love all of you guys. I really do. I love that you guys take your choose to spend time with us every single morning. But as much as I love you all, I'm not going to jail for any one of you or any group of you. And as a result, I'm going to follow the laws that are in place when we're talking about stocks. So I'm sorry about that. That was not my intention. Now, the other stuff here, technicals on AIRE, sure, we'd be able to do that. You're also asked about sell wall here. Again, because I'm traveling and I'm on a communal machine that I'm not used to, I actually don't have that stuff open. So I don't have that. So 13, I'm going to have to lean on you. Can we answer M Season's question here regarding if you see any sell walls on the level 2?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sell orders in the way of upside here, but right now, 136 is dealing with about 3,600 orders. The next penny up is 2,600, and it gets really thick as soon as you get up to 140, 142, 144, even higher at 150. So there's a lot of sellers on the way up. You're going to need to see a real big increase in volume to start to chew through all this, because you can look at the bids and see that the bids that are taking place right now are not as nearly large in size as some of these asks. So as soon as you start seeing the bids start to come in and kind of create a bit of a base and start to chew through these asks, these sell orders, then you might get that upside movement. But there's just not enough buying volume right now. The volume isn't where it needs to be to chew through these sell orders. 13,
can you really quickly just run down those numbers that you were mentioning? I think you said 140 and 150, right? What were they?
150, 154 has really big, amount of sell orders. It starts to grow as soon as you get up to 140.
Okay.
You got like almost 6,000 orders there. 142, 6,600 orders.
So take a look at this. You can actually kind of see this in the chart, right? Here's 140. This was a support that got broke. I'm not surprised to see some more orders there. 150 was another level that you gave. This also resistance, 154 was another level that you gave. It actually consolidated around this and tried to go higher and couldn't. I've got 157 as the VWAP. You might see some orders there. So M Season, let me know if that answers your question. Let me know if we gave you enough information there. I'll be honest, looking at this trading action here, I don't like this. In the pre-market, before we got the regular session to open here, I thought 180 going to be a clear upside spot that we can test. We didn't even make an attempt at that. In fact, we broke down and haven't even been able to clear the VWAP out, which is almost 30 cents lower. To me, this one, not a long opportunity here yet. This does not look good to me at the moment.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the SPY right now. It looks like we're almost back up to 500. I'm going to be looking at 500 as a resistance level. So we'll see if we can, if we get that resistance, if it pops up to 500. It's only about 27 cents away. So if we get that rejection, then we probably might end up going lower today. I don't know how much lower though.
We got the pullback on PanW that I was looking at, and I'm actually looking in the unusual options here. The June 20th next year, 2025, June 20th expiry. Looks like someone just bought $250,000 in calls on PanW. If we flip over to my actual chart here, remember what I was saying on PanW, we got a really nice candle that pushed us away from that 200-day not long ago. Here, now we're getting a little bit of a pullback. I love this, right? We were kind of rejected right at this 50. I love this. As long as we do not break down through 274, let's call it, this 200-day, I think there's another opportunity for a long swing here. I'll let you know when I actually enter this. This looking good here, though. Just notice those calls come across the wire.
Is that Pelosi again?
I don't think so. I think this would have been six times the size.
That's funny, Chris. That's funny.
DJAF says, welcome to Detroit, Ryan. Thank you. Good. Glad to be here. Glad to be. Let me tell you something. Detroit looks awesome. Like the downtown city area, the NFL really outdid themselves. They put up their like banners in different spots. The security's great. Everyone's got smiles. There's people out walking around. Like they did this right. Looks awesome here.
When are they going to get that monorail working again?
The people mover is actually working. They call it
Is
the people
it?
mover. Yes, and it is one of the recommended modes of transportation for this event because
I
it
feel
actually
cheated.
gets you to some of the different spots.
Yeah, it was out of service when I was there in 21. I
Oh,
feel cheated.
that's right. You know what, 13? You're gonna have to. We actually
Yeah.
discussed you last night at dinner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a former employee. You remember Andrew? You met him when he came here. He's like, yeah, 13 basically just
Oh, yeah.
came out here, right? I was like, yeah, and it was fun. And we went to a cigar bar and a whiskey.
Oh, yeah, that was
like,
great.
oh, dude, you got to do that again. You
Sure.
got to do that again.
Anybody should make their way out to
It was
Benzinga
fun.
headquarters.
So Nicholas is saying here, I'm gonna say this real quickly. Detroit has a ton of low-key awesome bars. So this was something, as a Chicagoan, this really surprised me. I actually went on a tour of some of the historic places here in downtown, and I'm not even kidding. Like, you'll go into like a business building and there will be what looks like a little like shop, and you pull on a lever and a door swings around and you're in a speakeasy. Like, it's
That's cool.
crazy here like this. And they've actually kind of changed, revamped or redone some of those old school speakeasy type bars and turned them into like a really cool atmosphere. Done a lot of really good stuff with the city, I will say. BRFH continuing to barf and move lower. Sorry, had to take that one.
I didn't know that you were joking at first because when you Kingdom Lamb, because when you said that, I was like, okay, well, that does make sense. For those that don't know, Omegle is kind of like a chat roulette type of platform.
Oh gosh,
where you just kind of randomly.
I had never heard of that either.
Chat streams, and there's some funny things in it that people do. Because when you randomly have join a chat and they're doing something goofy, it's the first thing you see. It's just like, oh, I don't know if I want to get into explaining it anymore, but if you are interested in what Omegle is, you can find out for yourself.
Well said. ON, by the way, ON calls getting bought here. Saw some meta calls. These have to be getting closed out, I think. These were the 405 calls. They were probably bought on this bounce. That was probably a pretty good trade. Those are deep in the money. AIRE, did we move lower?
It's kind of just hanging out.
We're holding lower, yeah.
Right at that 200 EMA, it's kind of just hanging out around there. And it does look like the MACD is curling a bit, but we aren't close to the crossing yet. So this could still go lower, I think. Okay, well, all right, there goes WISA, or it's trying to anyway, trying to get back above VWAP.
GDX highs on the NEM earnings this morning. GDX, that's the VanEck miners ETF. Oh man, this went vertical.
Gold. I mean, I don't even remember who said that in Happy Hour, but that was a really good call. FNX, I believe that's not what it is. I'll have it in my notes. Give me a second and I'll tell you what that other one was.
Yeah, I'm making sure. I have to make sure I do the right thing with the stream here at the end of the day.
FNV is what it was, not X. FNV. And that one's not as much. Oh, because they have earnings in 6 days. That's probably why. But it's moving up on with the rest of the sector. That's
F13 also not going to jail over Omegle. Yeah, that's not what we're doing, folks. We're trying to help, but we're going to follow the rules. That's how we do.
Going to jail over Omegle.
That would be a shame, a damn shame. AstraZeneca, that was what it was. Ticker AZN was on that potential gap and go. It never got going. That would probably stopped out. Bummer. AstraZeneca there. Guess that's kind of related to Pfizer.
Okay, here we go with PCSA. It's getting up to 250. There's a almost a 220,000 share wall that's looking to sell here. So if the volume comes in and can chew through all of that, it'd not only be impressive, but this
268 is possible.
Yeah, this thing would definitely get up. Not definitely, but most likely get back up to that intraday high of 268, like you were just saying, Ryan.
Ryan, stick with Pinot, Bordeaux, or Napa. That stuff you have on your private jet. Sydney, I'll be honest, I'm absolutely flattered that you think I have a private jet. Let's just let everyone keep believing that. That's how I got here. I took a PJ.
Ryanair.
My God. Ryanair is some discount European trash. Sorry.
All right. I'm gonna do this.
VRT, this is one that we talked about the other day. This actually is lower here, but having a decent day today. WISA getting another mention. Are we going above 7 here on WISA? Yep. Looks like we're going to try to take 7 out here again. Those previous highs at 735 would be on target here if we can go after that.
Just be careful. I really want to see
that's resuming higher here.
I really want to see
going lower. Sorry.
I really want to see if PCSA will go through 250. That's just a huge amount of shares to get through compared to what it's trading right now. But it might do it. It's working on it right now. Just to wait and see.
We got this curling up, and we got WISA curling up. I don't see anything. More puts on Microsoft. So Microsoft not participating in today's
it needed to come
dip
in.
Buying doesn't look like it. Yeah.
Microsoft, Google, I believe Amazon. I think those are the 3. I might be missing one, but those are the 3 that have not made a huge correction or entered a bear market. Nvidia, that went down over 20% at one point. So did Meta. We saw that today. Tesla, obviously, that's been down off its highs more than 20%. I think it's over 50% before it started coming back up. So some of these Mag 7s are really starting to get weak, and we just needed some of these other ones to roll over. So this is good.
Real quick here, what was I think I was lost my train of thought there.
Barfresh breaking down. It's now trading underneath some of these EMAs. It's actually still getting support from the pre-market low here just before we opened. So if we lose that, then I'd say the next level would be 146.
So it's barfing some more is what you're saying.
Yeah, more up, Chuck.
I feel like Jay, I'll tell you what, Jay woke up this morning and chose violence. That is just what happened. Where are the Mullen pumpers when it was over 4 yesterday? Just for laughs, let's go out and have a laugh. Let's see what Mullen. The keyboard's not going to work for me. Come on, dude. This Bluetooth low battery stuff. This is one of the more aggravating things here. What's Mullen? I can't even deal. What is Mullen's price? For heaven's sakes, keyboard. Come on. Mullen down 11% today. I see where Jay's coming from here.
Oh yeah, consolidation in the pre-market, and then as soon as the market opened, right down. But it's looking like we're putting in a bear pennant, so I think we're going to be heading down some more. I'd say as soon as the 65 EMA crosses the 200 EMA on the 5-minute to the downside, we might start to see that take shape. The low that I have, I think it's going to go under 3 today. Probably down to about 285 would be my guess.
Mullen's day was yesterday, and its day is not today.
Today,
PCSA still trying to get through that 250. We'll see if it can do that. Let me actually check something here real quick on the movers tool. Let's do regular gainers session, and let's bump this market cap up, and let's see what we got here. So I know you guys see me use the movers tool in the pre-market, but this is actually how I use it during the regular session. I basically just click regular and session, and then sometimes I'll adjust the market cap. And this gives me an idea of where some of the strength is, right? So we already talked a lot about some of these names here. Newmont Mining, Barclays Bank up higher here. TransUnion, we saw that this popped earlier, although we didn't really talk about it. Carrier Electric is up here. Teradyne, we talked about both of those. AstraZeneca. Sanofi is up here today. Nothing really jumping out the page. Marvell, what jumps off the page is the dip that got bought in some of these tech names earlier, which you guys highlighted already. You guys did a great job with
PCSA, here we go, trying again at 250. Sorry to interrupt your spiel there.
No, you're good. I was trying to fill time. You got something active. 250 coming here, PCSA.
And Smoke Tuna, you're right. I mean, today's scanner has just been, a dumpster, just nothing but junk.
Yep.
It still cannot get above 250. We just need a big old increase of volume in order to get through that. I don't think it's going to do it with what it's got going on right now.
Kingdom Lamb. Would you consider going over boxing analysis? I don't know boxing well enough. I will say that there are a couple of gentlemen here that really know UFC. And I think that you're right. If boxing slowly kind of creeps back, we might have some people on hand to do that. So that's actually a really good suggestion. I will say I am absolutely going to try and give you my analysis on the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. You take that for whatever it's worth.
Oh God,
I know.
Oh, okay. So here we go. Now there's been a shift in how the orders have moved around with the PCSA. We now have part of that 200 that moved down to 246, created a 50,000 share wall that it's getting chewed through. There's not a big size at 250 anymore. We get through 246, we could see some more upside. So that's something that could possibly happen.
So that order is not driving it down. Instead, that is.
It might be driving it down, but the thing is that big order is not there anymore.
Hey, look, it's not fake. Zunaid and I in the same room. Zunaid and I in the same room.
Yo, high quality. It was great.
I heard you broke this yesterday.
Y'all some snitches. I swear to God, y'all are some snitches. That is crazy. Who was it? Was it 13?
I think it was everybody.
Oh, it was me for sure.
Messed up. So bad. Yeah, you said this.
Let me tell you something. Zunaid is even better in person, guys. Zunaid is even better in person. I am all red from laughing. I did not do that, by the way, at 13. Zunaid removed you for me.
Yeah, I could clearly see him reaching in there for the mouse.
Oh, God.
Don't worry. Yeah, as Smoke Tuna put it, it's on video. We have it archived now. We can all go back and
we have it. The internet will not let you forget.
The internet's undefeated and remains so.
Guys, smash up the like for our amazing community, and for 13 pulling a prank on someone from 1,500 miles away. Can we get some likes in the chat, please? Awesome stuff. Nice prank, by the way. I can appreciate that. And thank you for targeting someone other than me. That is also great.
I didn't realize I was pranking you so hard. I'll have to dial it back.
Okay. I'm glad you guys are having fun too. Me too. I suspect I haven't had my entire coffee allotment today either. So Wissa still continuing to curl back up here, flirting with 7 here. Remember 735, that upside there. Perfect.
All right. Well, if PCSA can't hold here, and it doesn't look like it is, then it's probably going to go lower.
I heard you broke this yesterday. Oh, man. I thank you guys, because now I have a running joke to go to all day. You guys are just giving me content early.
Oh, no. The whole thing, the whole joke that I think we came up with when he did that was, man, he just was listening way too hard, or he's just such a good listener that he broke. We're like, ladies, hey, you need a good listener in your life. Zunaid, how many men do you know break the headphones because they listen so good? There's your man, Zunaid, right there. Good listener. Fierce listener, in fact.
Jay, I can answer this question for you. So first of all, AIRE, check the news on it. I don't know how you guys trade these little guys. Buy and sell. And they're buttons. One's red, one's green. That's the actual logistics of it. We're aware that they're junk. The fundamentals do not matter for the day trade.
Mhm.
There are multiple structures of trade, and one of those structures that does not give a shit, pardon my French, about the fundamentals are those momentum day trades. So we look at momentum indicators. Now, how could you buy a stock that does 20K in revenue last quarter and hold that for multiple days? I'm with you, bro. I have no idea. I have no idea how you do that. I would not do that. Eventually they do. Exactly. But not on the day that the momentum has taken over. And that's
this is momentum we're trading. We're not holding on to these things or getting married to them or any of them. That's why they're girlfriends.
No. And we're trying to make that very clear ahead of time so that you folks don't get the wrong impression too.
Yeah. We trade barf and farts in small cap land. Exactly. Yeah.
Best trade today, I will say though, given what we've seen, the best trade today was buying the non-junk names and buying that tech dip. If you were on that trade early, that was the trade of the day. There were multiple names that would have worked there. So I know we're having some fun. We're kind of joking around, but all jokes aside, that was one of the bigger winning trades here this morning. Hub Cybersecurity getting called here in the chat. Well, this looks like this has already kind of moved here, but this is a nice move.
So that one's coming back. Wissa might be making a move here. Keep that on your radar. Just need a little bit more volume expansion. Push back up through 705. Might be able to take another shot at the intraday highs at 735. Yeah, any stock can make you money if you trade it correctly.
And PCSA, I think you're right. That one might be done.
Yeah, I think so too. Wasn't getting back above there. That 250 was just had too much in it. Then they started pushing it down. Smoke Tuna nailed it. Now what's going on with Wissa? Are we going to get that move over 705? Or are we going to come back in?
Here's ticker PI. PI. This is Impinage. Oh, I can't even pronounce this correctly. This is one of those chip names, right? That got bought up here today. It's doing a good job holding higher here. 16.7% higher. Big move here on PI. What
you got for us, Wissa? It really does look like it's trying to get up there, but man, the volume just doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Needs to come, needs to increase, needs to expand. Now, if we looking at PCSA, which I'm not sure many people are going to be anymore, but if you're trading it later today, there are some downside targets you could potentially look for a bounce. I got 205 and 181 as potential levels that you could potentially see a reversal in, but that's if you're still trading those. There we go.
This one right here. And Jay saying, man, Jay woke up and chose violence. Dude, why are you angry? See my multiple previous posts. That's why I was bringing it up. Man, hope you have a better day. Voodoo, Ryan, how long are you in the D for? I'm going to try to play some golf on Saturday. So I go home on Saturday.
Air going down there. 118, 119 would be the next downside level I have. Wissa popped above 705 and it's coming back in. Like I said, not enough strength.
NEM continuing. Looks like this might try and go higher here on NEM, ticker NEM. Let's see if we got any other really kind of big news.
Hollow could get going again. It's putting in a bull flag, getting support from what is this level? 260, and it's starting to rise again. It's above my VWAP. Intraday high is 287.
Looks like Yellen doing an interview that Reuters brought us this morning. I don't see really anything going off of that. RJF, my favorite ticker in the entire market, for obvious reasons. Raymond James Looks like they're actually lower. They gave up. Yeah, company lower after their earnings. Interesting. All right. Flip back over to my main workspace here. We got about 7 minutes left here. I don't really see anything great. What is the best thing that you folks see out there? What is the best thing you folks see out there? I am still really interested in this Pfizer trade earlier. I know we said that there was big open interest and that might have been a closing, but those contracts were 95 cents a piece. So unless they bought cheapies to begin with, those might be an opening one. That's what I want to see for tomorrow. NKGN getting mentioned?
Jonathan Cooper, for PCE tomorrow, well, I'm going to want to see lower print than last month, but I don't know that we're going to necessarily get that. It could be just a little bit more sideways, and it could be the same read. It could be slightly higher. I think it's just, if you look at how the chart looks with the past PCE reports, you kind of see that this year we've kind of leveled off and slowly ticked up. Could end up getting more of that. There's still going to be a drop off at some point, but I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. So for now, I'll just say PCE might just be more of the same, like you were saying.
I would far from. Sorry, Voodoo. I speak trader, but I can't get that one, dude. What get you guys excited every morning about the stock market? Emiliola, this is actually a really good question. One of the things from the very beginning, like even when I started this, when I didn't really know what I was doing, no jokes from you guys. One of the things that really made me excited every day was that every day was different.
Yeah.
And after a while of doing this, one of the other things that I realized is that because I stayed on top of market news, I was educated about other topics that people would talk about that I wouldn't necessarily have looked into prior, right? Like I see stock XYZ goes up because of this news. Well, what does that mean? Or we discuss it here as a group. And it prepared me more for what's going on in the real world. So I think the fact that every day is different and every day is an opportunity, that's one of the things that really gets my blood pumping every morning. This is a great question.
Yeah, it's having skin in the game and knowing that every day could affect the trades that you have going on if you're in this long term. Part of this is for me it's fun, it's entertaining. So
Addiction is part of it. You're right.
Sure. I think the people that are addicted, if you're gonna go that route, they tend to get themselves in the most trouble. I think they don't know when to step away from the computer. They continue to do trades even though they're having a losing day. That's my opinion, though.
You're right, though. I've learned my lesson from doing exactly that. 13.
Yeah, and it is like you said, that it does help you with other financial aspects of your life.
Yep.
But for me, it's fun. I have skin in the game. It's income generation, and I get to be my own boss. I don't have to answer to anybody. I get to make the decisions around here.
See, I wanted to say that, but the reality is that I still have another job, which I do have a boss. Now, thankfully, I like my boss. That I already know puts me in the minority. But there are plenty of people, even in this chat. There are plenty of people that literally do just this for a living. Now, I'm not at that stage yet, folks. I've been doing this for a while. I started off with a very low amount of money, and I've built it up. But I still rely on a day job to get me through. So 13, I can appreciate you answering that because, that I feel like when the pressure's on, that's going to really, that's going to tell a lot. Like, are you able to meet that pressure? Do you fold under that pressure? Does it make it harder? Does it change things? There's a lot to analyze there. Every day, Axel, every day is an opportunity to change your life for better or worse. You know what? I can't ask for more than that. If I have an opportunity to affect my life every day, then I'm doing something right.
And having the knowledge of money makes the world go around. We know that.
Yeah.
So having the knowledge of how it works, not just from the consumer level, but from the government level, the international level, you get an idea of just where things are going. You have a better idea of just how the world works. And when you see videos like the one that Ryan posted in our happy hour chat, of this lady trying to explain how she thinks inflation can be cured, it kind of makes you really appreciate what you've learned over time to understand exactly how it does work, and not the way that she thinks it does. That was actually one of the most humorous things that you've actually posted, by the way.
I look, when I saw that, I went from laughing to crying to sadness in like a matter of a minute, and I just had to share it with somebody else. Lynn Williams saying a whole new career for us after flying. Jay's life. This is my predominant occupation for the last 4 years. I also started a dog boarding business. Awesome. Okay. All right, 13, that's it. It's going to be it for us. We are going to get to the draft event here. I can't thank you enough for hanging out this morning. I can't thank enough for all of you for joining us. Folks, I don't ask for very much when I'm on stream here, but I will ask, please check out our event here today on YouTube. It is awesome, and it is going to be awesome. You folks are awesome. Love you very much. We'll be back at this again tomorrow. Stay green, stay safe. Bears.